Welcome back to Aaron's Reading Room, and welcome back to another edition of My Category Journey. This one featuring our special guest, COVID Omicron variant. I'm feeling mostly okay. I've just got a bit of a brain fog. You might have noticed that with some spelling errors I made in some of the things I posted online. But that's probably not a new thing for me, and no one's felt the need to point it out, and I love you all for it, so thank you very much. So anyway, that's where we are right now. I am triple vaxxed, work from home, don't go out much at all, and wear a mask everywhere I go. I think this Omicron's just going to get everyone. We did everything we could, and it still got us. I'm not saying be fatalistic or anything, but be prepared as much as you can. But on the topic of illness, we have a new book for you. A new line as well. We're going to do our first medical, my first medical as well, and it's going to be brought to you by the amazing Traci Douglas. And this is The Vet's Unexpected Hero. This book was recommended to me by the wonderful Lucy Monroe, and so I know it's going to be wonderful. So let's go ahead and start it off here. So we have Jackson, who is a paramedic. He is adopted, and he works parallel or adjacent to his adoptive brother, who is a doctor at the hospital. So we got to know them, got to see them on the job a bit, and got a little bit into where they come from and the difference in personalities. Jackson's kind of always on the go, looking for something new all the time. No one's going to lock him down. He's got a bit of a reputation. And then we have our female main character, Lucy. She has OCD, but she is a vet. She is doing everything she can to actually be self-sufficient, be out on her own, despite her OCD. She is putting forth maximum effort to be a functioning part of society. She got her doctorate in veterinary medicine, and she's pushing herself to do a little bit more every day to try and be the best she can. We also find out that there is a hurricane on the horizon. It's coming in. That's going to mean stress on the medical system, but it's also going to mean stress on the animal shelters and things like that. So we've got potential for a lot of drama to happen here, because we got the OCD female main character who's got the chaotic male main character who's going to come in and mess everything up, and it's going to be so stressful for them. I'm a little stressed out. I'm going to take a bit of a break, and then I'll go on to chapter 2 to not overburden myself too much while I'm in this state. And I will see you then. So everyone, I finished chapter 3. I finished chapter 2 with COVID brain. Gotten a low effort tweet out, but I hadn't gotten around to vlogging. And I kept putting it off, and eventually I realized I just needed to go on to chapter 3, move on, and do a 2-chapter vlog. So enough about me. Chapter 2, we had the emergency response meeting. So this is the team of emergency responders that our hero Jackson is the team leader of. That's getting ready for this tropical storm that's going to come in. They don't know if it's going to hit or not, but it probably will. So they're getting ready for it. It's stressful enough that Lucy has to be in this environment. She's got her support dog with her, which is great. She's got her pens lined up. She's doing everything she can to make it right, but that whirlwind that is Jackson can't help but invade her space and make things difficult on her. Not only that, she needs some kind of binder packet or whatever to be a part of this team that she's really only doing as a favor to a friend, but now she needs this binder. He doesn't have one there, so Jackson's going to bring it to her house. Asked for her address, which was bold of him. So they are going to have to see each other again. There's some attraction there, obviously, but she doesn't have time for that. He doesn't have time for that either. That's what they're telling themselves. We'll have to see how that goes. But in chapter 3, things didn't quite go as planned. There was just going to be the handoff of the binder. It was what each were preparing for. They weren't preparing for the wounded kitten on the side of the road, which, oh my gosh, reminded me so much of a kitten I had as a younger man. The first kitten I had outside of my parents' house. Oh, she was so sweet. Her name was Doll. She had complications during birth, made it so that she lost her left back foot. But she was not slowed down at all. She was still rowdy and rambunctious, happy cat all her life. And it became comical how people felt bad for her when they saw that she was missing a foot. Oh, poor thing. No, she's doing just fine. Thank you, Traci, for bringing those memories back to me. We also got the first date, though it went a bit rough. Jackson, to his credit, is doing the best he can, but he's still a little too rough with everything that involves Lucy. He keeps stepping on his own feet, stepping on her feet. It's not very smooth yet, but they did have that first moment of realizing maybe in another life there could have been something there, but they're still not quite there, believing that it could happen in this world in this lifetime. So I will move on to chapter 4. Hopefully we get some progress there. We're still early in the book, but maybe we'll see what we get. I'll check in later, okay? Hello everyone, I've finished chapter 4. We have an emergency, so the hurricane's coming in, and Lucy's decided she's gonna batten down the hatches at the animal shelter while she rides out the hurricane with the few animals that are there. Jackson, as the incident commander, obviously this is not acceptable to him as incident commander or just as future husband to this woman. He's either gonna go get her or he's gonna ride it out with her. I hope it's the latter. I hope they get trapped there together. Well, okay, first, I hope that the incident group can command fine without him. That's what I hope first. And then I hope that he gets trapped there with her so that they have some forced proximity, some only one bed, hopefully. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Jackson's on his way. Things are getting rough, and we will just have to see what happens after chapter 5. All right, everyone, I finished chapter 6. We got our wish. They're stuck there. And, I mean, luckily it's her house. They've got the animals there. They can take care of the animals. One of the animals, a gator, got Jackson. Like, just a claw, but he's hurt. He's trying to tough it out like tough guys do. Of course, that caught up with him, like it happens with tough guys. That's all right. They're both medical professionals. Got a very close moment there. And now we've got some forced proximity, and we are so excited. We're so excited about this. This is like Lucy's nightmare. She's got that attraction that she can't quite process it yet, but she knows it's there. But this is Jackson, this whirlwind of a person, chaos in a bottle, or outside the bottle, if you will. He is now in her space constantly for however many days it's going to take for the storm to pass. Oh my goodness. She must be going out of her mind. The poor thing. We will have to see how she does. So I go on to chapter 7. I will let you know how things shape up. Hello everyone, I finished chapter 8. The storm is in full swing. It's not just breezing by them, it's gonna be serious. And they've got to get ready. Getting ready means lots of moving around, lots of close contact, close quarters. It's sparking all sorts of feelings between these two, all sorts of urges that they've got bottled up. And there were some surprisingly touching moments that we had. I'll just let that dangle there. You'll have to pick up the book yourself and figure out what I'm talking about. It was really, really sweet. And it was such a surprise. Oh, I can't go into it too much, but it's just like out of nowhere, just super sweetness. So they're stuck in the basement with the animals, and they're having another one of those moments of, can I trust this person? Are they going to do me wrong like the other? But wait, no, I'm not actually thinking about taking that step with this. It's the tension is there, and they're just going to have to sit in it because there's a storm outside and they have nowhere else to go. So we'll let them marinate there. I'll go on to chapter 9, and I'll let you know how things are going. Hello, everyone. I finished chapter 9. We are still in the hurricane, still trapped together, still loving every moment of it. We're getting to that. Is it improper to call it the Stockholm point? I won't call it that. We're at those beautiful maybe moments, those maybe this person's worth reevaluating my whole life perspective type moments, which aren't always so fun when done right, like said book here. They give you those warm fuzzies inside so much. We also got something very magical that happened between them that I can't speak to, but I will just say it was lovely, and there was some follow-up that was very typical of what we would expect Lucy to do. But the great thing is that Jackson is starting to understand Lucy quite a bit better, and so he's finding a way to adapt his humor to her, and maybe she's finding a way to understand his humor a little better, and that he's not out trying to hurt her feelings. He's actually in, a roundabout way trying to just say, I love you. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I will go on to chapter 10, and I will check in with you after then. All right, everyone, I finished chapter 10. This is a very self-contained story, so if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but we are still in the basement, and things are still progressing, but there's something to be said for that. I love a isolation story that can take place in such a small setting. It just makes things extra intimate, and you really have to dig in deeper to the characters themselves to get something that keeps you reading, to get things keep you interested, and to show that these two are actually falling in love. So it takes an extra special talent, like our Traci Douglas here, to craft a story with such a small setting, but still make it so fun and interesting and lovable. So I'm going to continue on to chapter 11, and I will check in with you there. I finished chapter 12. We are out of the storm. We're assessing the damage. We're assessing where we all stand in relation to each other and our feelings, and where we're going to go forward from this. There was quite a bit of damage. The one thing we don't know, though, the most important thing, is what's going on with those hatchling alligators. We kept getting it. We're prepared for the worst because Lucy decided to prepare us for the worst because she was focused on the worst case situation. There's our dark moment right there, I tell you what. Also, I'm sure Jackson has to check in with a lot of people and see what's going on with all the stuff that he missed because he was trapped with Lucy, but it was going to be worth it in the end. So I have 2 chapters left. I'm actually a bit surprised how fast I flew through this one. That's always a good thing, too. So I will check in after chapter 13. Hello, everyone. I've finished chapter 13. We're now at a very dark place. Things were out of everyone's control, and I have a lot of emotions and feelings that I can't place anywhere right now because there's no one at fault. And this is, well, actually, there is someone at fault. I'll blame Traci Douglas for putting me in this situation. But she's forgiven because she's the author and it's her job to do this to me. But really, it's how frustrating is it when there's nothing anyone could have done different? I'm saying too much. I'm saying too much. You're going to have to read it yourself. It makes me need to take a deep breath and step back, and it makes me very mad at this storm. I'll stop now. I'll just leave you with that. This is us going into the last chapter of the book. That's the state that we find ourselves in. So we'll go on, and I will see you at the end of the book. Hello, everybody. I have finished chapter 14, and it was a lovely way to round out this book. Now, how do I say things without spoiling them? There was a storm. We can't just go right from storm to falling into each other's arms and beds, and as much as we would all enjoy that, Jackson and Lucy are very responsible individuals, and so they took care of responsible things first, as they should. I found it very difficult to be upset with these two because the things they're dealing with are not just things that you can just say, well, aren't you used to it by now? You could say that to them, would be the wrong thing to say, as well as highly offensive. So we're not going to do that. The things that they are dealing with, that they're carrying, take lifetimes of dealing with. There's no end to the road. There's always something there to carry, and that's something we all need to be better at recognizing with many things in life. I'll get off my soapbox there. Didn't mean to do that, I'm sorry. And my goodness, that confession at the end there, that was a confession. My goodness. Traci Douglas. Round of applause. That was so heart-wrenching. I was just beside myself in sections of that last chapter. Very, very well done. Most importantly, we found out about some critters we were concerned about. I think that's all I can say on that front, too. And we got a nice tease for the next book, the follow-up, which is Her One Night Secret, also by Traci Douglas, who was so kind and sent me an e-copy of it. Thank you so, so much. So I am just so thrilled to have read this medical book. For it to be my first medical, I couldn't have asked for anything more. Traci, it was amazing. Thank you so, so much. Thank you, Harlequin Books, for making sure these stories can get to the masses and people like me. Thank you, all of you who have followed along on my category journey, and remember, it is your journey as well. Make sure and mark your calendars because our featured author, Traci Douglas, will be joining me live on this channel on May 16th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Please join us and chat with us then. And until then, I hope you have a great reading journey of your own, and I will see you in the next video.